Hello and welcome to another Faction Focus. I am joined by Ecclesiarchy representative Adam Camilleri. Adam, thanks for joining us.
Oh, I am so happy and keen to be here. We are going to be reviewing the new detachments for the Adepta Sororitas.
So, Sisters of Battle in the new edition of Warhammer 40,000. What's the game going to be like for them?
I think genuinely quite good. A lot of the hidden mechanics, the new interactions that we're going to be dealing with moving into the new edition are things that generally Sisters of Battle can be built to handle quite easily. A lot of people have been talking about the new hidden mechanic, as in being essentially unable to be interacted with outside 15 inches. What if you just took melters and flamers? Don't really care.
-1 to hit for cover and hidden doesn't help you a bit being on fire from a heavy flamer, does it?
Correct, my man. And because of that, I think they're exclusively in quite a strong position to negotiate some of the on-release mechanics. I know as we go deeper into things, people are going to build the tools and build the ways and means to negotiate some of these interactions, but from the off, I think this is looking quite good.
Some quite strong melee units in the army as well. You've got like the Repentia and the Archoflagellants, things like that. Feel strong right out the gate.
Absolutely. In addition, the Sanctifiers, the Sacrosancts, and things of that nature are also going to be coming into the fore. Sanctifiers, of course, being one of the new units that can start quite aggressively up the table. And then Sacrosancts is heavily supported in the game now, and that is not going to change because one of the new detachments we're going to be talking about is definitely going that direction as well.
Right, well, let's dive straight into the detachment. So we're starting off with Chorus of Condemnation, and this is a detachment that benefits jump infantry, which they've got a few options for, and also exorcists. So how does it work?
So this works by having your fly infantry, your Adepta Sororitas fly infantry, which in this case is exclusively Seraphim and Zephyrim. And so what they'll be doing, they'll be acting as buff pieces, or more to the case, debuffing pieces that allows you the rest of your army to activate. They have an ability called Condemnatory Psalms, in which they will be selecting a unit within 12 inches of an enemy unit, and they'll have +3 to their detection range. So that 15-inch exclusion will then go to 12 inches at a minimum. There's a bunch of different other ways to interact with detection range and the hidden mechanic, but this is just a fantastic way to have your already good utility pieces acting as extra insurance to get the rest of your army going. And of course, we've talked about a bunch of the melter and close range shooting options, but we also have some very strong long range shooting options in some of the battle tanks.
Yeah, so you're effectively using your fly infantry to drop in, again, like highlight an enemy unit so the rest of your army can shoot it from further away, particularly things like the Exorcists. Some of their detachments, some of their stratagems work particularly well with those, but you can use it for any of your units.
Correct. Castigators as well come to mind also. The first of the enhancements is exclusively for a jump pack Canoness, and this is going to allow them to, at the end of your opponent's fight phase, them and their unit will be able to leave the table, and then you'll get another turn to be active, I suppose, in applying the detachment rule.
Yeah, so you can drop in with that unit, highlight an enemy unit for destruction, Exorcists, multi-melters, everything, fire at it. That unit can then remove itself from the battlefield, drop down somewhere else later on in the game to do the same again.
Exactly right. Stay active in the game, stay progressing your board state, and keep applying, that detection range. Of course, a lot of people would be thinking that things like those long-range pieces would be less good on day one, but abilities like this put them straight back into the game immediately with powerful things to do. And of course, if you're giving something that detection range, you're going to be working around that to make sure you have pieces applicable to get into it.
Yeah, and there's one of the stratagems works very well with that, which is Harmonized Exorcism. This is a stratagem that works, kind of promotes that synergy between the fly infantry units and your battle tanks. How does this work?
Exactly right. So for one command point, your Exorcist, which has not yet been selected to shoot, will then be able to select one unit that is visible and within 9 of the fly infantry unit, and then they'll get +1 to their hit rolls. Now this is an interesting interaction with indirect fire, but over and above that, just getting to hit better and better and better. And this is a pseudo ignoring cover ability as well, because of course we know being in cover is -1 to hit, and this is +1 to hit. So you could, in theory, have ignores cover as well and double up on this if you find another way.
Nowhere to hide from the Emperor's Judgments.
Exactly right. I think it's a really cool ability.
Great. Well, moving on to one of the next detachments. This is one of the more unusual detachments across the new edition. Sometimes the detachments work the way that they always have, where you get enhancements and you get stratagems and army abilities, but some of them really focus in on a specific model or a specific type of model and buff that, and this is one of those examples. It's called Sanctified Orators.
Yeah, this zones in specifically on your Adepta Sororitas characters, in addition to them getting +1 leadership, and of course they will pass that on to any units that they are leading. You'll also get to take the detachment from this So the enhancement, rather, from this detachment, in addition to as many others as you feel like taking, up to the legal limit for your choice of battle size.
And the way that this enhancement works is that it's a really flexible enhancement. Effectively, you've got one of your Sisters of Battle leaders, Canoness or something. They are an inspired orator, so whatever the situation demands, they have the tool to solve it. So there's things in there that increase movement, that increase the strength of the unit. You can automatically pass battle shock tests. That could be game-winningly important.
Absolutely. There is essentially a pick your poison of different abilities you can apply to this character and therefore their unit as well. And it's an interesting kind of a detachment design, because without having stratagems on here, they've been able to make an enhancement that is just so amazing
just a toolbox of stuff.
It is worth a bunch of stratagems in and of itself. Of course, it'll only be able to apply to a single unit, but like you said, you can plus detection range, you can unbattle shock yourself. Which is a big deal. We can unpack that for a whole one of these faction focuses by itself, because you don't auto unbattle shock anymore. You don't automatically unbattle shock.
Yeah, so this is one of the few ways you'd have in your army to auto pass a battle shock test.
Correct.
It's not something, if you're already battle shocked, you can't use command to undo that anymore.
Correct. And you don't just automatically become unbattle shocked at the start of the command phase again. You have to actually earn that back by passing.
So almost for that
tests.
ability alone, this is worth having.
That's a one command point ability.
And this is probably one of those detachments that you wouldn't take it on its own. You'd add this onto an army that you've already got, right? So you've taken one of the other main detachments that buffs whatever unit you've got, and then you go, actually, I've got some points left to spend. Let's put it onto this. Let's make the characters even better.
Correct. And I'm going to make one super toolboxed unit that can really do whatever I need it to do tactically. And I think it gives a lot of generalship and a lot of expression of generalship to the player involved. Yeah, really high on this one.
Great. So the last detachment for the Adepta Sororitas is Sacred Champions, and this is a detachment that buffs the elite combat units of the Sisters of Battle.
It's all predicated around the Celestian Sacrosancts, and it's going to straight up just give them +1 ballistic skill, +1 weapon skill. Nothing to dislike about that.
So they're just going to be extra fighty. Your already very competent combat unit is going to be able to go toe-to-toe with the elite of enemy armies.
Correct. In addition, you'll get the Reverend keyword attached to your army should you take this detachment, which just means in the future, should they make any further Celestian Sacrosant-based detachments, you won't be able to double up on those and make a super unit. But this is so good for these units. There is people who are already playing with the current Champions of Faith attachment are going to find just going straight into this one, the transition is going to be seamless.
Cool. And then they've got enhancements, obviously, and stratagems that bolster those that already great buff. One of the enhancements is Writ of Compunction. This is an upgrade, so a whole unit of those sacrostants immediately get better.
Exactly right. They get +1 objective control added to their profile. So they'll go to, a unit of 10 will go to OC 20 and be able to essentially flip or take any objective they like on the table as long as they're able to reach it. Now, why this is key is that you do not need a character attached to this unit in order to take this enhancement, this upgrade. And because of that, it really leads itself to, say, your second, your third unit of Sacrosants that you're taking, say, this detachment can be taken along with other detachments as well. And so the list design gets really interesting when you consider if you were to just take a strong selection of units in, say, a Hallowed Martyrs detachment, and then decide you want to take, say, 20 Sacrosants along for the ride in that. And then, of course, you can have one that is supercharged with, having attached characters and all various other buffs and supporting pieces, and then one just by itself, because it's good enough by itself.
Yeah, it makes it quite a good unit to just wander off away from the rest of your army. A lot of the time, Sisters of Battle is sort of a combined arms approach to the battle, whereas this unit can just sort of go the distance by itself.
Self-supporting, self-buffing, was already of above average durability as well. I think it's superb.
And then they've got a couple of stratagems that help them out as well. So you've got one called Faithful Fortitude, and this is just a really solid, straight-up, feel no pain save against mortal wounds. Exactly right.
Of course, you can also you can already access a 5-up feel no pain by taking a Hospitaller and attaching it to your squad. But let's say you didn't. Let's say you wanted to take one character, or your allotment of points doesn't quite go that deep to get the Hospitaller into the second squad or third squad. This is a fantastic way of avoiding one of the pitfalls, because of course you have -1 to wound, and you have so many durability buffs with the 4-up invulnerable save already. And this is one of the ways to get around the last shortfall should you not be able to afford that character.
Yeah. So there's a very good ability on those units, because they have a great armor save, they've got a great invulnerable save, but low wounds means that mortal wounds really hurt.
Correct.
So this is a great way to kind of counteract that. And then last up, you've got Unflinching Determination, and this is again, another ability that really makes that unit pop.
This is the formative stratagem. This is the bee's knees. This is the one you're going to build around and you want to have. This is one of the reasons to take this detachment, in my opinion. It's one command point to ostensibly get assault on all your sacrosanct unit, the one you've applied this stratagem to. In addition to that, you get to advance and declare a charge and advance and shoot as well. So your unit that has +1 ballistic skill and +1 weapon skill already now gets to access the +1 ballistic skill after its advance and the +1 weapon skill after its advance as well, just for one command point, adding so much value to the unit. This is a formative stratagem. It's going to be one of the key pieces and reasons to take this detachment.
I mean, anywhere where you get the ability to have advance and charge effectively,
it's huge.
Is just extending the threat range of what is, because of this, probably one of your best units.
I believe so. I believe this detachment takes Sacrosancts as one of the best units in the game, just to a whole new level. In addition to being able to kind of do it all, you have access to the +1 objective control as well. They can kind of just do everything at this point.
Great. Well, Adam, thank you so much. That was Faction Focus for Adepta Sororitas. We will be back with more faction focuses for more Warhammer 40,000 armies very soon.